how to balance work, family, and starting a business. We're gonna go through 10 questions that really, and just really gives a full picture here. So let's start with number 10. How do you decide which parts of your day to dedicate to creative tasks for your business? So I think that there may be two types of people, okay? You have the people that do that, you have your regular work that you do, your day job, you got your family that you're hanging and vibing with. So figuring out where to put your business, how to operate your business, at what point. You got people that wake up early, like me. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'll work on my business from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. or 6:30 or something like that. So I'll use those 2 hours in the morning to kind of get really good, effective work done before the kids get up, and it's just very hard to have that focus. There may be night timers, which is kind of the same thing after the kids go to bed, maybe that's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and you're working pretty much from 8 to 12, something along those lines. So I think you can fit it at your creative time in those two kind of spots. And then there's also the person that's more journalistic, meaning that when they get 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, little blocks in the time, nap time, stuff like that, you say, okay, let's go in. I'm actually a hybrid of both of those. I like to do my work, my deep work in the morning, and then once the kids go to school, I'll, get all ready, set up, and I'll record a video for 30 minutes. So it's very important. Then typically from there, I'll start my regular work day, right? Which is just self-employment, doing the thing. And throughout the day, as I have little breaks in between, I'll do follow-up with clients, leads, creative work, stuff like that. So I'll kind of fit the pockets whenever I'm not losing any time at all. If there's a down point in regular work, I'm then filling that with create the business work, so that it's not just like you're just doing nothing, watching YouTube, whatever. Don't get me wrong, you can absolutely listen to YouTube all day long, but you're maximizing your time. So that's what I like to do. Now, what I do is I always come home, pick up the kids, come home at 3:30 p.m. and then from there we have dad time, and we'll run it up, do our dad time, vibe out, hang out. Sometimes it's group dad time. A lot of times it's one-on-one, where I'm hanging out with each of my boys. Then from there, I'll end up doing date time, date one-on-one with the wifey. We're watching a lot of Master Chefs right now, Generation, stuff like that. And then from there, sometimes I'll grab a bite, sometimes not, depending on if dinner's done or not. And then from there, I'll go out from 6 to 9, okay? And 6 to 9 is more work, but it's really higher leverage work. And if it's not high leverage, it's going to be high leverage business activities, okay? So I kind of use that from 6 to 9 as a block of time where I can just, depending on, like if I have a client that I need to get some work done, that's probably more important than me putting in a few more hours or whatever on regular work. But let's say that, whether it's maybe you're trying to make a bill, or maybe you don't have anything crazy pressing, maybe that's the time to just put in the regular work or whatever and get that immediate income gen. And then from 9 to 10, this will be kind of either personal time or downtime that I kind of just chill, or I'll watch something with the wife. And then by 10 o'clock, I'm asleep, going to sleep. And that's kind of how I handle my creative blocks through the day. I like to have my biggest kind of thoughts, before the kids wake up. And then I record this video, which does take a lot of, I want to be up, you get ready. By the end of the day, your hair is looking rough, all that stuff. I try to get up. By the way, the hair is still looking rough today, but you get up, you go, you move. And then by the end of the day, you feel accomplished. And I didn't even mention I go to the gym. Once I do my kind of 4 to 6, from 6 to 7 is when I go into the gym. So, and then 7 to 8 is pretty much trying to take the kids to school. With all of that, you can fit in your family, your regular work that you do, and your business. You just have to be strategic with your time. Yes, there are sacrifices that you'll make, giving up certain things or activities. Like, for instance, I love watching movies at the movie theater. And it's not that I don't go see movie theaters. I just work majority of the days, right? So you got 30 days in a month. Whenever I need that moment or day where I'm like, yeah, I'm a little low energy, I'm not feeling it, I'm not, I can tell, I can feel it. That day will be an off day, and then I'll go see a movie. Or like say the wife has so I don't really operate on a Monday through Friday type of schedule. I just operate based on my energy moving, and I'm trying to hit majority of the days. But if there's a day that needs to be completely off from work, we'll do that, we'll take that, because if we don't take care of ourselves and give ourselves that energy, that refresh, that recovery that you need, which are kind of the fun, delightful things that you just like to do, you're not going to last. You're not going to be able to move and have that same sustained motivation. That is number 10. Number 9, what's a simple method to track progress in each area without feeling overwhelmed? I recently just did this. I redid my CRM. I put it in Notion, and I just have a funnel all the way from prospects all the way to partnerships. Okay, and I've talked about this in a previous video, but very quickly, you have prospects. This is all the way from the coldest of people to the most closest, right? So you got prospects, commenters, email subscribers, people that are interested, people that have bought your initial offer, then people that have buy your core offer. Then you have like people that are in your group that want a group membership. Then you have like personalized work, which is done for you, which is more white gloved. And then you have partnerships, which are like the smallest bit of the pie, but big boy money. And so those can be rev share models, all that type of stuff. But everyone has a place in this space, so I can keep track of relationships, because it's very hard at scale to keep track of all your client relationships. It's very hard for you to like remember and be like, oh, what was that? Where was that? Because I've definitely felt this, and you're not alone. But once you kind of have more like a CRM, so that you can be like, okay, I haven't followed up with her, in a week, or I haven't, I do my check-ins on, my wells or whatever. Like you just have everyone's in the funnel, and so you prioritize obviously the most important relationships, and then the less warm ones, you make sure you do your best to get to them on a regular cadence. It may not be that like short of a cadence, but you're also hitting them with, the emails and trying to like give them value. The whole thing is value. Everyone just wants the money, and like, I feel you. I understand why the money is so important as a parent, as someone that is just trying to provide for the household. That is why I'm a very huge advocate for keep your day job. Your day job is this amazing thing that you've gotten, whether it's through your career, through your education or whatever, you've got that. It is heavy risk to say, screw the day job because I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to jump into my passion. Trust me, I've done it. I'm just trying to give you I've fucked this up so many times that it's so much better, because guess what? Your family will be voting for you and for your business when your financials aren't sporadic and crazy. Very hard for the partner to be like, yeah, Will, I know you said that we're going to close this many people this month, but da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's very hard for them to back you on that when the mortgage is dependent on that, right? But if the mortgage is paid, from your regular income, it's much easier for you to grow the business properly, which is all about giving value. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, the business is hyper leverage. There's no income limit on the business, just to your potential and how you market and sell. So you absolute upside, but you want to de-risk. And so that's what I would say. To be able to keep track of all these relationships, you need to be able to white glove cater to a lot of your relationships. You know what I mean? Like, we can get into more about CRM and how to manage clients and relationships, because I felt like for a long time this was a shortfall for myself. Like, I did really good at like getting everyone rah-rahed up, I'd make the product and feel good about it, and then I just fall off the face of the earth. And I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to make sure that I'm like continuing to make sure my clients' needs are met. And you can do this. Again, I'm not gonna get into this one. We got 8 more to grow. Okay. So number 8, what's a framework for saying no to opportunities that disrupt balance? Everything is a default no. I'm gonna tell you right now, truly, on some real, like, if we're talking about anything, if we're talking about outside of the business, pretty much everything's a no. Think about it. You don't have that much time. Your time is so limited and valuable, truly, that you don't. Think about my schedule, and you can compare your schedule to, like, if you want to do this, because you have to do 3 things well already. You have to be a good dad or mom. You have to be a good employee or self-employed, because that's your house depends on that. And then you have to be a good business owner. Those 3 things already take hyper time, okay? So for me, I go to sleep, from 10 to 4, that's 6 hours of sleep. Then I'm working on the business for 2 more hours. Then I go to the gym, which is for me. I really want to make myself feel better and all that stuff. Then I take the kids to school, 7 to 8. From 8 to 3, that's regular job income. Income gen, which is just your day job, which you're doing that. You pick the kids up, whether you pick the kids up at 4 or 5 or whatever your thing is. And then you hang out with the kids and have family time with the kids and your wife or your husband or whatever. And then, like, by that point, you only have a few more hours really left in the day. And those 2 or 3 or 1 hours that are really left in your day, like, for you to say yes to something that doesn't actually matter at all, like, you're killing your time. So those 2 hours that you really have to yourself, or 1 hour, really I have about 1 hour that's really to me. Don't get me wrong, you can have off days, absolutely. When you have off days, none of this stuff applies. Say yes to all the things. Off days, you're just like hanging and chilling. And that's what I like to run. But when I'm in the groove running the system day to day, like, I don't take meetings anymore. And that's not specifically because I'm like, oh man, meeting's terrible. It's just like I cannot justify the time that it takes to, like, okay, honey, I'm gonna jump on this call for an hour. Okay, like, if I'm spending an hour with the wife, a day, like, if I'm only spending an hour with the wife per day, like, she's at the top with my kids, right? So me giving an hour away to anybody else, absolutely not. Now that's not to say that you can't give your energy, your time, and value away at scale. That's why we have our YouTube videos. That's why we have our podcasts. That's why we have our newsletters. That's why we have our social media. You are interacting with these people, and you can DM them, but you have to DM them on a certain frequency that makes sense for you, because you have limited time, most valuable thing in the world. So that, I'd say, when you have off days, say yes to whatever it is that you want to do. My yeses is like going to the movie theater and watching a movie, bro. By the way, I just saw Den of Thieves 2. Whoo! I don't think I've seen the first one, but bro, that movie was ridiculous. Long run time, and I was engaged the whole time. Got to be on the top 10. I can't say for the year because we're early in the year now, but like, that was a movie that I was like, yes, I needed that. I go to the movies to refill my bucket of creativity. That's what I do. It heals me a little bit. It makes me feel good. Find your thing. Okay, number 7. How can you identify which tasks to delegate in work, family, or business? Okay, so let's start with each. Work. If you're employed, the game is to, let's say you work 8 hours. This is employed, not self-employed. The game is, if you're getting paid for 8 hours, the question that you have for yourself is, how can I do whatever I need to do in 8 hours in 4 hours? How can I do whatever it is that I need to do in 8 hours in 2 hours? That's the game. I mastered that game. I really got it down to about an hour and a half a day that I really actually worked. Um, and look, don't tell the employers this, but like at the end of the day, they're leveraging you too, right? What they're doing is they're getting more money by then paying you to do a job. And how you do that job is up to you. Now I know that there's critical bosses that want to maximize every hour and all the things, and I completely understand as a business owner. But that's the real play on your leverage, is how can I either automate what I'm doing so that, like, let's say that it takes me 1 day per week to actually work. How can I automate so that like it takes me actually 1 day per month to work, right? Use at your own discretion. Don't come back to me. You're like, I got fired. Look, be smart, give value, be intentional. Don't slack off at work. But that's really is the game, because what happens is you're able to buy back your time within the company that you're at. Now, also parallel to this applies to both. You do your work, but you also listen to podcasts that are going to up your skills, like all the way. So you have 8 hours a day that you're just upping your skills. Now, on the flip token, let's say that you do actually want to give all 8 of your hours to your employer. If you're in a really good position where you can learn so much from that person, from that job, you're getting paid to learn, paid to fuck up on someone else's dime. They're giving you leads. They paid big money on ad spend for those leads for you to run through systems and fuck up on. That, you don't get that when you are doing it on your own dime, it hurts so much more. So use the opportunities. Look, I got to learn how to operate a $1 million business, a multi-million-dollar business, because I was ingrained in it. You know what I mean? From all the marketing, all the product labels, the automation. I literally automated 500 product labels into the system, which saves hundreds of hours of human error, of all this stuff. You know, I got to learn how to operate an e-commerce store that did about $100,000 a month, right? Like, okay, they got this big offer that's about $25,000. Okay, got it. And then they also sell these products that are $10. The massive gap between that, I got to learn on their dime. And I still don't think that I took it for as valuable as it was. I knew that I had a great job and I loved my workplace. I loved that it was like, hey, Will, can you make this? And they show up, 4 weeks later and, cool, I've made it. But like, you get to practice on someone else's dime. That shit is leverage. You get to educate yourselves through podcasts, right? And then you get to actually fuck up on someone else's dime, bro, and level up. And they pay you. And these guys pay you every couple weeks. Like, it is a steal. Really start looking at your job like, damn, I'm actually, what? Holy, what? So leverage that up. I'm going to hurry up because we want to get to number 1 and give it a little more energy. But with your family time, arguing is the killer, okay? Arguing kills everything. Think about something that can take your money, steal your energy, make you feel depressed, make other people around you feel terrible, take away your motivation, your creativity, and also the recovery on that. It's not just once you argue everything's done. The recovery is it takes, just like when you get drunk and you got a hangover, it takes a day or two sometimes. Arguing is the killer, okay? So if I could give you anything in your family life that you can reduce, the thing to target, it's your arguing. Because if you just kill that, you're going to be 200% better just in general. That's all I'm going to say to that. You just cut out the arguing. As far as business goes, leverage, ChatGPT, please, all day long. It makes your 1 hour 10 hours. It makes your 2 hours 20 hours. Everything, you literally can just be right in here. I'm right now, I'm working on Levels, let's see, nope, boop, right there. So I'll tell you one of the latest prompts. I was listening to a video on the Diary of a CEO, and I was listening to, what's his name? I'll tell you his name real quick. I want to give credit where credit's due. I was listening to Daniel Presley, okay? Very sharp. And I'm in the video, and he's talking about, like, okay, some things to do. And so all I did was listen to what he said and said almost exactly what he said, and then I can customize it to what I need. So I'll just tell you what I said. Productize the demo, customer needs analysis, and give it a name so it feels like a product. Demo is explaining what you do, features, advantages, benefits, research that backs it up, show some data, have emotional story that tells people how this product works and changes someone's life or deliver. Almost done. The demo shows how your product is the path of least resistance from current reality to desired reality and obstacles that an ideal customer has. Not for everyone. Customer needs analysis, blah, blah, blah. And it takes everything that I just said, which literally was what he said, and it knows my avatar, it knows all my stuff, and it can create all this stuff on the fly just like that. Use AI in everything. I mean everything in your business. It'll give you the massive leverage that you need. All right, we're gonna rocket fire through these all the way till number one, and I'll give number one about 5 minutes of my energy. Let's get back to our list real quick for us. All right, let's see. How do you involve your kids in your entrepreneurial activities in a meaningful way very quickly? Teach them how to use YouTube, start them a YouTube channel, and teach them how to use it. Building an audience is the primary first step to building a business and building a personal brand. Stop running away from YouTube, accept that it is a thing, do that, YouTube. What criteria, number 5, so that was number 6. Number 5, what criteria should you use to determine when to pause work for family time? When right now, my motivation is like fucking like this. It's just like, I'm just going up. I could probably more like this. But there's a point every single time. I can't, it's like every week, every couple weeks. I can't tell you the exact day. But it starts to wane a little bit, right? And then it starts to dip a little bit. And at that point, when you feel it, you can just feel it inside. You're like, damn, I've been working really hard. Not that I'm lazy and I don't want to do anything, but like the real, like you just, like I actually need a break. I've been working really hard. I really kind of need a break. And then you'll have this doubt, oh, well, if I take a break, no. At that point, when you need that, let's have this conversation with Laura yesterday. It's like, what bucket is like completely empty right now? She's like, my motivation. I was like, we need to fill that bucket up immediately. Okay, what's gonna get your motivation up? She said, I'm actually kind of hungry. I said, so we need to DoorDash you some food right now. She's like, but the money. We need to DoorDash you some food right now. Because guess what? If your partner is out, you're out. Like you guys are a unit. If your kids are out, you're out. If your kids are sick, guess what? You're out. So we have to make sure we take care of our circle. And you are that person. You are that individual you're out here hustling, you're moving, you're doing 3 big things: family, work, business. You're doing it all. And so you deserve to have a day off when the time comes. And when the time comes, knowing what your kind of few things are, like I told you, I personally, if I'm feeling low energy, here goes about the order of operations of what it kind of looks like. Let the wife know that I'm like having one of those days when I'm going to go see a movie. I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'll probably get a donut and, a double espresso, blah, blah, blah. So I'll do that. Then next I go to Chick-fil-A and I get the 4-count chicken strip with the mac and cheese and the sweet tea or the Coke or whatever. And then I'll go to the movie theater, and usually the movie has some time before it starts. I'll go to the bookstore. I'll probably buy a book that's on Audible. And then I'll go see the movie and watch a movie for 2.5 hours. And when I get out, I feel so elevated and so good. Only you can know what those things are for you. But when you do, when you hit that zoop, don't get down here, zoop, immediately needs to happen. All right, let's finish up real quick so we can get to number 1. Number 4, what boundaries should you set to avoid work spilling into family blocking, time blocking? That's all I'm gonna say. Number 3, how do you handle unexpected interruptions from family while working on your business? If they know the schedule and understand the importance of the schedule, you gotta get that into the systems of just everyone understands, like, yo, dad's home at 3:30, right? Or, oh, dad's going to the gym at 6 a.m. You gotta block your time, and you have to be consistent with your time. If you don't, everything will spill over and you'll have a lot of stuff. Now, if there's an emergency, right? Like Maverick ended up getting a hairline fracture, you drop everything and you go take care of it. That's the beauty of getting your burn rate down. I've talked about this in the previous episode, but for instance, if you make, let's say, if your bills are $3,000 a month, you want to be making $6,000 a month. And we'll just start with what you make. Let's just say you make $4,000 a month. Your bills need to be about $2,000 a month. That way that you have runway to be able to take days off. Take days off or half days off when you need to. It's not like you're slacking at all. You've afforded yourself that ability to take a day off when you need to. If it's an emergency, take care of it. All right. Number 2, what triggers indicate you're over prioritizing one area at the expense of another? When you start hearing, Dad, you're not spending enough time with us. Will, like, we're not going on enough dates. Like, you'll start to hear it. You'll start to hear the whispers, and you got to be honest with yourself. You got to say, okay, you know what? Is it real? Have I been doing too much over here? And you just have that heart to heart with yourself. Only you know. But then what you do is you take care of it. And then you do the best you can, and then you keep going. Because you guys are hustlers. You're doing it. You're fucking parents out here. Parents are the GOAT. All right, number 1. Number 1. How do you recover and adjust when one area becomes too demanding? Okay. When you feel overwhelmed and anxious, or like you're just not okay, so many people just push on through. I did this for a very long time, and it doesn't do well. I remember I was sick for an entire month and a half because I did not allow myself to have a day off because the bills. And so I literally suffered through at low energy and low health and low motivation for a month and a half. Like, don't do that to yourself. Realize that you are the biggest asset. You are the biggest hold. You know what I mean? You can buy and sell stock, but you are holding yourself forever. And if you don't take care of yourself, then you cannot play the infinite game. Alex Hormozi talks about this, where there's finite games and infinite games. Family is an infinite game. Work is an infinite game. Business is an infinite game, okay? You don't win at family. You don't win at work. You don't win at business, okay? It's last man standing, he says, where the winner is the one that stays a family the longest. The winner is the person that can stay working forever, right? The person that can operate their business forever is the winner. You know, it's not, I made this big accomplishment, so I won at business. Business is just forever. And that's why I say align your business with your personal brand. Your business is just you. Because I can get tired of operating a business, but I don't ever get tired of operating me. Like, I love myself, and I love the things that I get to do. And so if you continue to invest in yourself and you take the time, like we talked about just having that moment where you're like, okay, I've been working 28 days straight. I need a day off. I'm going to get Dunkin'. I'm going to get Chick-fil-A. I'm going to buy a book at the bookstore. I'm going to see a movie at the movie theater. And I'm not going to feel bad about this. I'm going to let this just be good for me. And your partner needs this too. Your kids need this too. Notice when they're down here, be like, nope, we're doing this for you now. Let's go. All right. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed presenting this and giving this to you. Please share, like, love, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And there's another video popping up somewhere on the screen that's all about parenting, business, and all the good things of self-development. Take care, guys. Bye.